It started like any other day for Cassandra Rae. She wore no makeup. Her braids tucked under a plain hoodie. Just another face in the crowd on a chilly Tuesday morning in Detroit. She had a job to do. Track a trafficker linked to a deep-rooted corruption ring that had already swallowed 2 precincts. Her orders were clear. Stay low, stay invisible, and keep her cover airtight. Cassandra was an elite undercover agent with Homeland Security, trained in infiltration and extraction, specializing in high-risk domestic ops. She had taken down armed smugglers in El Paso, corrupt CEOs in Miami, and had once survived 3 days in a warehouse in Baltimore chained to a pipe to maintain her cover. But what happened this time wasn't in any playbook. She had just stepped out of a corner store, a coffee in one hand, burner phone in the other, when the sirens wailed behind her. 2 police cruisers screeched to a stop, lights flashing violently. A white woman had called in a suspicious black woman allegedly casing cars and mumbling to herself. Cassandra had been doing neither. She'd been reading license plates, cross-checking vehicles from an encrypted list of suspected associates tied to the trafficker. Before she could react, 2 uniformed officers, both white, had already stepped out. One of them barked, "Hands where I can see them." The other drew his taser. Cassandra remained calm, still playing her part. She offered no resistance, merely asked, "What's this about? Officers?" That seemed to set them off. The taller one pushed her hard against the cruiser, cuffed her with force, and told her she was being detained for loitering and suspicion of attempted theft. She asked again to speak with a supervisor, told them she had federal credentials in her pocket inside a sealed pouch. They ignored her. Even smirked and said, "Oh, we get that a lot. You people always think you got special privileges?" She remained silent after that. Let them dig their own grave. They shoved her into the back of the squad car, slammed the door, and drove off. Not toward the precinct, but to a side lot near the 5th District Station, somewhere quieter, off the books. That's when Cassandra knew it wasn't just racism. It was something darker. As they pulled into the lot, she watched one of them make a call. Muffled, but she caught phrases. "Yeah, got her," and "No, she didn't fight." Then should we bring her to the back entrance? They had no idea who they'd just arrested. Cassandra used the brief silence to press her foot against the floorboard. A tiny sensor embedded in her boot transmitted a silent alert, her emergency signal. Within 90 seconds, her handler would be pinged. Within 10 minutes, her extraction team would be en route. But time ticked slowly. The officers opened the door, pulled her out rougher this time. One patted her down again, reaching for the pouch in her back pocket. The second she felt them open it, she heard the officer say, "What the hell is this?" Inside were her federal ID, encrypted field tablet, and a laminated red tag that said, "Information classified, contact DHS immediately." His face went pale. The second cop laughed, thinking it was fake. "Oh, so she's a secret agent. Now, you watching too many movies?" She could have spoken then, could have ended it, but Cassandra waited. They needed to feel it. It's not just the embarrassment, the weight of what they had done. Suddenly, 2 unmarked black SUVs pulled into the lot, tires screeching. Men in tactical gear leaped out, weapons drawn but pointed down. One of them, Agent Morano, shouted, "DHS, drop everything. Step away from the detainee." The 2 cops froze. Morano stormed over, his badge flashing, and snatched the cuffs. "Off, Cassandra." "Are you hurt, Agent Rae?" he asked. "I'm fine," she replied coldly. Then she turned to the officers, still trying to process what had just happened. "You picked the wrong woman," they stammered, trying to defend themselves, saying someone called in a report. Morano cut them off. "You ignored identification, used excessive force, brought a federal agent off record to a side lot without logging the arrest. That's obstruction, misconduct, and possibly conspiracy." That's when one of them tried to pin it on the anonymous caller. Cassandra didn't flinch. "This isn't just racism," she said. "You were following orders from someone who knew I was close, someone who didn't want me alive." An internal investigation later revealed one of the cops had deep ties to a local gang being investigated. The 911 call had never existed. It was a setup. Their plan had been to disappear her quietly. Instead, they'd blown the entire case wide open. The fallout was swift. Both officers were suspended, then charged. The precinct came under federal review. Cassandra's identity as an undercover agent was temporarily suspended from operations due to exposure, but her report triggered a multi-state sting that led to 37 arrests in under 6 months. The story made headlines, but the press never got her name. To the public, she was just a black woman who turned out to be a federal agent. But those who knew her knew what that moment really meant. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a mirror held up to a system where racism and corruption often hide behind badges and procedures. It was a reminder that sometimes justice walks silently until it chooses to speak, and when it does, it shakes the ground. For Cassandra, it was just another mission, another wound, another reminder of what it means to be black, brilliant, and underestimated. She went home that night, not angry but focused. She would recover, rebuild her cover, and find whoever tried to take her out. Because while they made a fatal mistake cuffing the wrong woman, Cassandra Rae had made a promise long ago to always be the last face corruption sees before it falls.